Good afternoon. My name is Greg Russell, and I'm the principal of the Institute of Technology campus. I'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kma'ki, the unceded territory and ancestral homeland of the Mi'kmaq Nation. Our relationship is based on a series of peace and friendship treaties between the Mi'kmaq Nation and the Crown dating back to 1725. In Nova Scotia, we recognize that we are all treaty people. My special thanks to bagpiper Ryan Fraser for piping us in, and also to Jolene Pattison for leading us in our national anthem. I want to offer a warm welcome to graduates, family, friends, and special guests joining us here today, along with all of those tuning in through our live stream from around the world. Thank you for being a part of this special day as we celebrate the class of 2019. I will now introduce the stage guests. Please hold your applause until they have all been introduced. Kit Gillings, Academic Chair, School of Access. Tina Kelly, Academic Chair, School of Trades and Technology. Jerry Masters, Honorary Diploma recipient. Don Bureau, President, Nova Scotia Community College. Judith Ferguson, Board of Governors Vice Chair. Rosalind Penfound, Vice President, Organizational Development. Elizabeth Yeo, Director, Student Services. Tara Keener, Dean, School of Access. Christine Arsenault, Director, Enrollment and Registrar. Carl Turner, Assistant Registrar. Mark Smith, Manager, Student Services. And Gord McKenzie, Academic Chair, School of Trades and Technology. Each year, our campus welcomes new faces, all eager, many anxious, filled with an infectious enthusiasm. By the time we see those same faces cross our stage at Convocation, we see the same enthusiasm, but the anxiousness is gone, and in its place, a newfound confidence. This makes this day extremely rewarding for me and our college community here today. From our amazing faculty and dedicated staff at our campus to campuses and colleagues province-wide, each has a role to play in supporting your journey to graduation, and to them, I say thank you. I'd now like to take this opportunity to ask our campus faculty and staff to stand and be acknowledged. Graduates, ultimately we recognize the inner strength each of you has found within yourselves to balance competing priorities, whether caring for family, holding down a job, enduring lengthy travel time or health challenges, while still managing to meet deadlines, staying on top of your workload, and making it through the late night studying for tests, handling all of the stresses involved. And now you can say, I did it. Today, we are welcoming students who are graduating from programs studied online. I want to extend a welcome to my colleague, Tricia Donovan, our eCampus principal, who is in attendance today. As our president, Don Bureau, has often said, we take the community in community college very seriously. This is a special community, and while we always have some challenges along the way, by working as a supportive family, it makes the successes we see at the end of each academic year that much more special. Congratulations to the class of 2019. You've accomplished so much and should be so proud. Please know that all of your college family here on stage and in the audience are thrilled to see you shine today. Again, we are so glad you've taken the time to support the graduates in person and online, and we invite you to take a photograph of your graduate. When your graduate is set to cross the stage, you're welcome to come to the base of the stage for a photo as they receive their credential, but we ask that you keep the stage clear when doing so. As mentioned earlier, we have a photographer who will capture the moment each graduate receives their credential. Please see the back of your program for instructions to obtain your free digital copy. In case any of your friends and family are not able to be here, the ceremony will be available to see at a later date once posted to NSCC's YouTube channel. And don't forget to use the hashtag NSCCgrad when you share your convocation photos and messages on social media. It is now my pleasure to introduce our president, Don Bureau.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Greg. Graduates, I have to tell you, it's such an honor for me to be on this stage this afternoon as we're coming together to celebrate your success, together with family, friends, and loved ones. In fact, as president of NSCC, addressing the class of '29 is simply the highlight of my year. A couple of weeks ago, when I was putting together my speech for this afternoon, I wanted to make sure that my speech was motivating and was compelling, so I sought the advice of my 22-year-old son, Matthew, who recently graduated from NSCC. I said, Matthew, what advice would you give me as I prepare my speech? And he said, Dad, he said, your speech should be interesting, okay? He said, your speech should be inspiring, yep. And he said, the last thing they want is for you to go on and on and on. So he said, make sure your speech is quick. Okay, Matthew, I'm not sure if I can do that. I'm not sure if I can make it interesting, inspiring, and quick. He said, well, just make it quick then. So I'm going to take his advice. I'm going to tell you a quick little story this afternoon. It's a story that my colleagues have heard me share before. It's one of my favorite stories. It's one of my favorite stories because I think it's very pertinent given what's happening in the world today. Called the Patch Story. It speaks about the importance of taking action to have a positive impact on others. I first heard this story a couple of years ago when I had the absolute privilege to have lunch with one of the most amazing people I've ever met in my entire life. This individual, her name is Valerie Jarrett. And perhaps you, like me, I'd never heard of Valerie Jarrett prior to meeting her that day. Well, Valerie Jarrett was the senior advisor for former President Barack Obama during the 8 years in which he was in office. In fact, Valerie is often referred to as the Obama shadow because she was with him wherever he went for those 8 years. She was in Halifax speaking to a small group of us about what it was like to be working so closely with President Obama. She explained that early in her career, she was working as a lawyer for the city of Chicago, and one day she was interviewing for a vacant position in her department when into the interview room came a young lawyer by the name of Michelle. And within 5 minutes, Valerie realized that this Michelle was so smart that she offered her the job on the spot. Of course, that Michelle was Michelle Obama. Over the next couple of years, Michelle, Valerie, and Barack Obama became very close friends. And in 2008, when President Obama decided to run for president, he asked Valerie to take a leave of absence from the city of Chicago to help him with his campaign for 6 months. Well, as I mentioned earlier, she spent the entire 8 years with the president. She told us that back in 2008, just after the president-to-be, the candidate Obama, he had just given a speech at a hotel in downtown Chicago, and him and his security detail got onto an elevator. The elevator doors closed, and inside the elevator there was an elevator operator. His name was Earl Smith. And during the elevator ride, Earl Smith took the opportunity to present to Barack Obama a small little military cloth patch. And Earl explained that that patch was awarded to Earl Smith back in the Vietnam War. Earl claimed it kept him safe during the war, and it kept him safe ever since, and he wanted to present it to Barack Obama to keep him safe as he undertook the important work before him. Well, Barack Obama said he couldn't possibly take the military patch, but Earl insisted, and eventually Barack Obama accepted that patch. So if we fast forward time to 2012, President Obama has just won his second election, and he and Valerie are sitting in the Oval Office planning the inauguration ceremony when the president says, Valerie, let's go find that man who gave me that little cloth patch 4 years ago at that hotel and invite him to the ceremony. And Valerie said, Mr. President, we have no idea who that man was. We don't know his name. We don't know where he lives. It would be impossible to locate him. With a small smile on his face, the president said, "Valerie, we have the FBI at our disposal. Go find that man." Well, she got up with this task in hand, and as she was leaving the Oval Office, Valerie asked the president, "Mr. President, by the way, what did you ever do with that little military patch that that man gave you 4 years ago?" And to her surprise, the president stood up, reached into his pocket, and he pulled that patch out with a whole handful of trinkets. There was a marble, there was a lucky poker chip, there were rosary beads. These were items that people had given him over his years of public service that had a profoundly, deep impact on him. To him, these were reminders. Every single day when that man got up in the morning and got dressed, he would grab that handful of trinkets and put it into his pocket as his reminder as to why he was doing the work that he was doing. In his mind, he was there to serve and to have a positive impact every day in which he was in office. But here's the thing. You don't have to be the most powerful person in the world to have a positive impact on others. That day, when Earl Smith had the opportunity to present that patch to the president-to-be, he had no idea about the positive impact it would have on Barack Obama. I'm sure Earl Smith knew that that candidate would have had thousands of interactions with individuals, but still, Earl Smith acted and presented that patch. And you know, you need not look very far within the NSCC community to find similar examples of people having a positive impact on others. As I travel around this province throughout the academic year, I hear hundreds of stories of students supporting students and having a positive impact on their peers to help them complete their program. And I also hear hundreds and hundreds of stories of our amazing faculty and staff dedicating thousands of hours in the support and the mentorship of our students and their success. But there's one example in particular that I want to talk about for a minute of our graduates having a significant contribution, making a significant contribution to the lives of others. You see, at the core of who we are as a college, we strive to be an accessible post-secondary institution as a way to help students overcome adversity. And to that end, a couple of years ago, we launched something called Make Way. And Make Way was our first major fundraising campaign as a college, where we committed to raising $25 million to help our students overcome financial barriers. And I'm very proud to say that a couple months ago, we celebrated the completion of the Make Way campaign, and we in fact raised over $33 million to help our students. Yes. And a key group of contributors to that success was you, our graduates. Because on behalf of each and every one of you, your student associations have committed to contributing $500,000 over the next 5 years. And I think that deserves a big round of applause. And thank you very much. Graduates, I hope you know that your very generous gift will have a very positive impact on generations of students that will come after you as they pursue their education here at the college. As I think about being kind and having a positive impact on others, graduates, whether they are family, friends, amazing NSCC faculty and staff, there are people joining us this afternoon who've had a positive impact on you during your time here at NSCC. So unbeknownst to our graduating class, they have one final assignment to complete prior to officially graduating. And that last assignment is this. I want you to think for a minute of that person or persons who are joining us in the audience this afternoon who has had a positive impact on you during your time here at the college. And I've asked you to think of that person or persons because we have a tradition at NSCC, a tradition where I ask the graduating class to stand up as they're able and give a wave of appreciation to somebody in the audience as a way to say thank you. Thank you for the impact that you've had on me. So graduates, please stand and give a wave of appreciation to somebody in the audience as a way to say thank you. You probably couldn't see them, but they were waving to you, okay? Before I conclude, there's one other important group of individuals joining us today that I want to recognize. For decades, our alumni have been driven by a passion to find ways to have a positive impact in their communities and to make better lives more accessible for those around them. So I want to acknowledge our alumni who are in the audience this afternoon. If you are a past graduate of NSCC or any of our predecessor institutions or schools, or a graduate of CCEDP, would you please now stand to be recognized? Thank you very much. So in conclusion, graduates, I want to share with you one other comment that Valerie shared with us during that amazing lunch that we had a couple of years ago. During lunch, she was asked, Valerie, when working with President Obama for those 8 years, did the 8 years go by fast or did the 8 years go by slow? She thought for a minute and she said, you know what? She said the 8 years went by just like that. But she said some days they lasted forever. And I think that's so true for life in general. So graduates, after walking across this stage this afternoon, please do not wait until tomorrow to act. Start today and continue to have a positive impact on others by paying forward the many gifts and the many abilities that you have. Again, congratulations. We are so proud of you here at the college. And thank you for allowing NSCC to be part of your learning journey. Thank you very much.
Graduates, family, friends, faculty, staff, and honored guests. In just a few moments, we will present our graduates with their diplomas and certificates. Before we do, it is my distinct pleasure to present the highest recognition the college bestows on a citizen, the NSCC Honorary Diploma. An honorary diploma recognizes outstanding leadership and service to our community. It is reserved for those who, through their own innovation and commitment, have contributed to the quality of life in Nova Scotia. In every aspect, this year's honorary diploma recipient is an outstanding candidate for such recognition. Today, on behalf of the School of Trades and Technology, it is my privilege to present Jerry Masters with an NSCC honorary diploma. Jerry Masters is the architect of the policy framework that allowed for the creation of Nova Scotia Community College as it exists today. After graduating from the University of Waterloo, Jerry worked as a land use planner in Ontario and British Columbia before moving to Nova Scotia. Now retired, she spent more than 30 years in the provincial civil service advocating for and leading initiatives that transformed the educational landscape of Nova Scotia and created a model that many envy. In her earlier roles, Jerry led the creation of groundbreaking legislation, policies and reports that continue to propel the college and the province of Nova Scotia forward. As the executive director of the provincial government's community college branch, she led a team that transformed the province's vocational schools and adult vocational institutes with the creation of the Community Colleges Act. Through this act, Jerry laid the foundation for the direction, purpose, and structure of NSCC and launched a viable community college system for Nova Scotia. This work remains as relevant today as it did 23 years ago. Then, as director of the Nova Scotia Labour Market Development Secretariat, Jerry authored a report that intrinsically tied the college's programs and graduates to the province's labour market and future growth. This tie remains firmly in place, and today, NSCC's campuses have become economic and social catalysts in the communities they serve. Through her work, Jerry has left a legacy that continues to empower the college through its programs, campuses, and employees to transform the lives of its learners and deliver on its mission of building Nova Scotia's economy and quality of life through education and innovation. Her work has, quite literally, transformed the province. I now call on Judith Ferguson, Board of Governors representative, to confer the college's highest award, the Honorary Diploma, to Jerry Masters. I would now like to invite Ms. Masters to present her remarks to our graduates.
Thank you, Greg. I am speechless. This is an amazing day for me, and to be sharing it and sharing your celebration of graduation is an extraordinary experience, and it's always been the best part of a college year to see all the graduates move on to the next stage of their lives. And when President Barreau called me, I have to say I was caught totally off guard, and I was in shock. And then I started smiling, and I haven't stopped smiling since. Judith Ferguson, please extend my sincere thank you to the Board of Governors for this great honor. You know, being assigned to develop a framework for a community college system in Nova Scotia was the personal and professional highlight of my career. To have the college acknowledge my work with this diploma is the icing on my cake of life. So thank you again. I'm also so delighted to be here on the day of the graduation of two of my favorite programs within the college, Trades and Technology and Access. I don't know whether they knew, perhaps they did when they decided to give me a diploma in Trades and Technology, but part of my career was spent working with the Apprenticeship Training Division for the province. And during that time, I walked a lot of shop floors, and I was in a lot of factories, and I even went off and tried to do a little rigging. So I feel that I have a history with you people. I also think you're very smart because things only break on weekends, and you're the ones who are going to call and have to pay double time to make it work. And as for the Access program, you know, one of the key values that we wanted to include in the college was that it was available to everyone at any stage of their life who wanted to continue their education and learning to improve their circumstance, whether that mean their career or just moving ahead with further education. And when I look at the breadth of adult education programming available within the college today, it amazes me at how much has been done with that particular value. I had a chance earlier to talk with your valedictorian, Salma, and she represents for me, and I wanted to thank her, all that is good about bringing new people to Canada. Nova Scotia will not survive unless we rely on new people arriving here from around the world to help us build our labor force. So thank you. Now, when I asked Principal Greg Russell how long I could speak, he said, "I'll fill your boots." But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories. One is a bit of a history lesson, so bear with me, because it's how I ended up here, and how you ended up here as well. In 1993, the Auditor General for the province of Nova Scotia was very critical of the Departments of Education and Advanced Education and job training for doing nothing to forward the concept of a community college in Nova Scotia. Although there had been a number of papers written in the mid-'80s, that things really didn't proceed. So after this report, I was asked by the Minister of Education and the Deputy Minister to do two things. One, to determine whether in fact there was a place for a community college in Nova Scotia, and if there was, how we would make it happen. Well, the first question, did we need one, was really a no-brainer. You just have to look at what community colleges have done across this country to realize it's a vital part of our educational system. It was also worthwhile pointing out to Cabinet at the time that Nova Scotia was the only province in this country, and I suspect the only jurisdiction within North America, that did not have a viable community college system. There's nothing like telling a lot of politicians they're last in line to get their support. So I had the mandate to do something about it. It wasn't exactly, okay, this is great, you go out and create one of those and let us know when it's done. It was more like, okay, you go out and create one of those and have it done by 1996. So the work began, and it wasn't without its challenges. For one thing, the other provinces had had access to a great deal of federal money when they decided to put their community colleges together. That money was long spent, and we didn't have it available for Nova Scotia. Instead, we had 13 vocational institutes, 2 adult vocational training institutes, the Survey School, the Nautical Institute, and the Institute of Technology, of which we're now graduating. And that was what we had to take and transform into a cohesive community college for Nova Scotia. We also had to find a way to put into place modern programs that made sure the graduates of this college would find employment when they left. And in order to do that, we had to make sure that the graduates had jobs in fields that employers were looking for. So we had to meet often with employers. So let me be clear, I really wasn't out there on my own doing this. I had a huge group of supporters. The minister, the deputy minister. I had a fabulous staff who kept me grounded and kept me laughing a lot. And I worked with an amazing team of people who came from all of the institutions we were looking at and who had a far greater sense of what education and skill development was than I did. And we all shared a common vision. We wanted to put in place a framework for a community college that would provide Nova Scotians with the education and skills required to get good jobs in this province. As I said, it was a lot of work, and it was full of challenges, but we also had fun. We laughed, sometimes a bit too hysterically, but we were all very positive throughout the challenge. There were many ideas and views being expressed during this time, and we came to the realization one day that to be innovative and responsive, the college would have to be free of any constraints of government. As I mentioned, all of these parts were inside the Department of Education or Advanced Education and Job Training. Government does not move quickly. The college had to move quickly. So the case was made that we would try and create an independent institution, and that was the turning point. It became the guiding light that eventually led to the act passed by the legislature in 1996 that established one independent post-secondary institution for the entire province, comprised of 13 campuses, to be called the Nova Scotia Community College. And I want you to know that that model is unique in Canada. And I think it's the most successful model we have. And I do believe the college is looked upon as a leader in all fields now by other provinces. It has its own board of governors, a president. Each campus would have a principal. and it would partner with business and government to provide Nova Scotia with a workforce to meet the needs of the province's economy. So from those very first steps, individuals like today's Board of Governors, President Barreau, Principal Russell, and his colleagues, and more than 2,000 faculty and staff have harnessed the potential of this wonderful institution to give you and other students who come through the doors of the Nova Scotia Community College the resources, systems, and supports you need to learn, strive, and thrive. Now, I admit it, there were times when I would say to myself, why me? But today, when I look back on those 3 years, and when I look at you today graduating, this is the best moment, because I'm standing here, saying to myself, I had something to do with this all happening, and I'm very grateful for that experience. I also want to acknowledge and thank all the people who worked with me over those 3 years. They're not here today, but they were brilliant, they were patient, and they really put their hearts into making this happen. So that's it for the history, how I got here historically, going back in time. Now, I just want to take a moment to talk about me and you. If you've taken a moment to read my bio somewhere, you'll see that I have been working with the province of Nova Scotia since 1972. I started as a land use planner, and by 1993, when the community college assessment came along, I had held 7 very different positions in a number of departments and agencies within the provincial civil service. I also worked on and chaired dozens of committees, and I mean dozens. I looked at all sorts of issues, from how to finance municipal government to how to best manage our jails. I'm probably the only woman in Nova Scotia who at that period in time had been in every jail and lockup in this province. Yay. I am what you would call the ultimate generalist. I've learned to learn from others. All my working life, a large part of what I did was to ask questions and listen to others. I learned the importance of respecting different points of view, and I learned to adapt. I was fortunate to be able to do all this within the safety net of a civil service position and with the same employer for 30 years. Many of you in this auditorium are going to have equally interesting and diverse careers as you go forward through life, but not likely with the safety net I had, and certainly not for one employer for the next 30 years. That just doesn't happen anymore. You're going to have to learn from others, and you're going to have to learn to adapt as well. We're a province of very small companies and businesses. Employers need skilled but also nimble employees who can take on diverse assignments and learn new ways of doing things. You can do this by listening and asking questions of those around you. You will adapt or you will fail. Just passing time on the job is no longer an option. For those of you heading off to become apprentices, you will have the benefit of a journeyman to guide you through the balance of your training. Asking questions, learning from the answers, and adapting your skills to new levels will be crucial to your achieving your Red Seal. And some of you are going to take a bold step into business of your own. For you, listening to your customers or clients and adapting to their needs will be the only way you're going to succeed. And wherever you find yourself, remember, you can't get very far without the people's respect. And the only way you get that is by respecting them. You will not always agree with people, but do them the courtesy of hearing them out and trying to see where they're coming from. So this is what I really want to share with you today. It's 5 words that I've found pretty well fail-safe when it comes to doing your job well. Listen, ask, respect, learn, adapt. Before I close, there is one other word that I think you should use in partnership with each of those 5, and it's laugh. If you can't laugh, you're not having fun. If you're not having fun, you need to seriously look at why you're in the job you're in and do whatever it takes to make your work worthwhile. It's a large part of your life, and you want to be able to smile when you look back at it someday. So go out there, enjoy it, and have a good time. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kit Gillings, and I'm the Academic Chair for the School of Access. We will now begin the presentation of certificates and diplomas. Out of respect for your fellow graduates, I would like to remind everyone that once you've received your credential, please return to your seat and remain seated until the end of the ceremony. Now, before I introduce the first graduate, it is our custom to invite faculty members who have taught our graduates to stand to congratulate them as each program group is presented. Mr. President, I present to you the following candidates who completed all the requirements for credentials in the School of Access. Mr. President, the candidates for the Nova Scotia High School Graduation Diploma for Adults. Mohammed Abeka. Say yes, Johnson. Johnson. Johnson Akay. Fatima Al-Ahmad. Mahur Al-Halwani. Abbas Al-Tanak. Enjoy it. Hussein Al-Zubaidi. Dawn Bergeron. Stephen Asante Boateng. Amanda Bryan. Andrew Bromby. Veronica Burbage. Brittany Calm. Eric Chin. Dylan Clark. Christina Clark. You wait there. Jeff Clooney. Amanda Connor. Jesse Davidson. Tanisha Downey. Gary Drysdale. Lindsay Everett. Kyle Fredericks. Adish Gebrselassie. Cheryl Hanna. Shawnee Hardling. Shahani Hashim. Kelsey Hubley. Tristan Ingram. Caitlin Caffon. Hello, Caitlin. Drink it in, okay? Should be proud, man. Stephen King. Magdi Corey. Renee McPhee. Sydney McDonald. Melanie McWhirter. Well, here we are, sir. I'm looking forward to seeing this. Luke Mercer. Caitlin Monteith Richardson. Michael Morgan. Felicien Ende Isaba.
Okay. Just think you don't have to be with me anymore. It's great.
You stop by any time, man.
I know.
Christopher Oliver. Right on. Anna Pictou. Kevin Regan. Salma Rehman. Bien sûr. René Richard. You best give me a card, otherwise I have no idea who you are.
All right, cool. Sounds good. Appreciate all your help.
Oh, you make me so happy, man. Joshua Rogers. Hey, Brandon. Congrats. Just give me a card. I was at the hospital. Drink it in, okay? You drink it in. Brenda Ross. Turn the page for you, Eric. Eric Shaw. Hey, Kenton. Congratulations. Tenzing Sharab. Let's do it. Now's the time. Kieran Smith. Nicole Stewart. Alexander Tekle. Alyssa Young. Mr. President, the graduates in the Nova Scotia High School Graduation Diploma for Adults. For the information of the audience, those students who attained honours standing have the designation noted in the program. Congratulations for your outstanding academic performance. Students whose names appear in the program but who are unable to be with us today are automatically admitted to their respective certificates or diplomas. And so now, Mr. President, the candidates for the Certificate of Accomplishment in English for academic purposes. Rakea Aldalami. Dragosh Ondreaite. Stephanie Civil. Good to see you again, Peter. Fareshte Golami. Xiongfan Li. Sabita Sunil. Margaret Vitkin. You're welcome. Mr. President, the graduates in the English for Academic Purposes program. Mr. President, the candidates for the Certificate in Academic and Career Connections. Manal Al-Busad. Jessica Bernard. Megan Best. Amy Ford. Rebecca Gilbert. Well done. Carl Richardson. Natasha Roy. You like Magda? Whatever, it's your day, whatever you need. Magda Rusu. Yagane Savave. Christiana Tesfaye Cameron. Skylar Walker. Mr. President, the graduates in Academic and Career Connections. Mr. President, honored guests, the graduates of the School of Access.
Good afternoon. My name is Gordon McKenzie, Academic Chair for the School of Trades and Technology. Mr. President, I present to you the following candidates who have completed all the requirements for credentials in the School of Trades and Technology. Mr. President, the candidate for certificate in Motor Vehicle Body Repair Program, Riley Ramsey. Mr. President, the graduate for certificate motor vehicle body repair.
Good afternoon. My name is Tina Kelly. I'm the Academic Chair for the School of Trades and Technology. Mr. President, the candidates for the Certificate of Accomplishment in Marine Industrial Rigging. Randy Armstrong. Alicia Hoban. Roger McQuarrie. Cole Marcotte.
Happy to get this over with, honestly.
Zach Martell. Phoenix Morrison. John O'Brien. Aiden Walsh. Brandon Wright. That's it for Marine. Mr. President, the graduates in Marine Industrial Rigging. Mr. President, the candidates for the Certificate in Industrial Mechanical. Invited guests. It is a tradition at the Nova Scotia Community College that when a member of our staff has a family member graduating, we offer him or her the opportunity to participate in the ceremony and present the credential. Andrew Allen now joins us to present his son, Noah Allen, with the certificate in industrial mechanical. Tyler Arenberg. Ryan Bickerton. Jarrett Breen. Alexander Casey. Adrian Dondale. Wendy Harrison. Brandon Hatt. Aaron Jewers. Woo Chung Kim. Rochelle Lonis. Patrick Lynch. Robert McKinnon. Justin McCrae. Alicia Morash. Sean Moss. Kyle Parsons. Michael Pierce. Riley Perrin. Sean Putnam. Keegan Rao. Aiden Triffs. Amanda Williams. Industrial mechanic, right? No, industrial mechanic, right?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Mr. President, the graduates in industrial mechanical. Mr. President, the candidates for the certificate in plumbing. Ty Borden. David Buchanan Dorrance. Shane Cooper. Jamie Getty. Brandon Grant. Nick Hurlbert. Alicia Ingersoll. Jude Johnson. Colin Jollymore. Shane Kovach. Tyler Landry. Richard Lawrence. Kyle McKinnon. Jonathan McLean. Kyle Marr. Exxon Memete. Ryan Mullally. Anthony Preshon. Lee Robertson. Gunnar Rogerson. Tyler Swinimer. Mr. President, the graduates in plumbing. Mr. President, the candidates for the diploma in pipe trades. Adam Arsenault. Alistair Batchelor. Chad Brady. Matthew Cross. Congratulations. Brandon Drake. This is air conditioned. Joshua Frank. Joshua German. Oh, yeah. Tyler Hayes. Tyler House. Alicia Klein. Casey LeBlanc. Trenton Marriott. Brandon Morash. Michael Murphy. Corey Parker. Noah Radcliffe. Congratulations, Dylan. Exciting. Dylan Short. Michaela Smith. Congratulations. So exciting. James Warner. Grace Westenberger. Was Grace the... Bradley Wilson. Brittany Zink. Okay. Mr. President, the graduates in pipe trades. Mr. President, the candidates for the Advanced Diploma in Emergency Management. David Alders. Dr. Mohammed Farouk. Rachel Chapman. Jonathan DeCoste. Mike Dickey. Alan Harvey. Brett Hershey. Edwin Lazell. Liam Lazell. Amazing, huh? Stay in touch. Nicole Modest. Maria Niemer Gonzalez. Yashashwini Palakuru. Timothy Park. Sean Simkin. Mr. President, the graduates in emergency management. Mr. President and invited guests, the graduates for the School of Trades and Technology. Mr. President and invited guests, I present to you the 2019 graduating class of the Institute of Technology, Nova Scotia Community College.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Smith, and I'm the Manager of Student Services at the Institute of Technology campus. On Wednesday, June 12th, at our Student Success Celebration, the students with the highest aggregate in each program were recognized, and all departmental and industry awards were presented. I would like to ask all of these award winners to now stand as you're able so that we can acknowledge your achievements. Any award winners? There we go. Thank you. I now have the pleasure of presenting to you the major award recipients for the Institute of Technology Campus Convocation 2019. Two of our awards, the Governor General's Academic Medal and the Nova Scotia Community College Gold Medal, acknowledge the highest academic achievement earned by a student. The Governor General's Academic Medal was awarded earlier today at our morning ceremony. And I would now welcome Rosalind Penfound, Vice President, Organizational Development, to present the Nova Scotia Community College Gold Medal. This is awarded to a graduating student of a college certificate program who has achieved the highest academic standing. The recipient is a graduate of the Academic and Career Connections program, Megan Best. now welcome Dom Guro to the stage to present the President's Award. This is awarded to a graduating student of a college certificate program who has demonstrated outstanding academic achievement and contributed to campus and/or community activities. The recipient is a graduate of the Marine Industrial Rigging Program, Roger McQuarrie. Mr. President and invited guests, I present to you the award winners for the Institute of Technology Campus, Nova Scotia Community College 2019. Thank you very much. I now have the distinct honor of introducing this year's valedictorian. Salma Rehman was nominated this year as the Institute of Technology Campus valedictorian and was chosen to represent the 2019 class. Salma is graduating today from our adult learning program. Salma was born in Afghanistan and raised in Pakistan. Salma came to Canada in 2016, eager to continue her education. While completing her high school diploma, Salma enjoyed her time at NSCC, where she volunteered for the Student Association. Selma is moving on to the English for Academic Purposes program in the fall so that she may continue to improve her English and prepare for her subsequent academic program. Selma is thankful for all the people in her life that helped her to succeed, from her family and friends to her teachers, and most importantly, her husband, Farid. Please welcome Selma.
Good afternoon, and welcome graduates, faculty, family, friends, and honor platform guests. My name is Salma Rehman, and I'm from Afghanistan. I'm proud to be standing here today representing the graduation class of 2019. It is hard to believe that this day has finally arrived, since we have all struggled and worked so hard to get here. Let me take you back when I was in school at the age of 9. Up on the board was the statement, "Knowledge is a weapon." At that time, I did not understand the meaning of this. I grew up with these words in my head, but when I came to Canada and began learning English, I finally realized the meaning of this sentence. Knowledge is a base of understanding, information, and skills that we acquire from education or other experiences in our lives. Education is not just about going to colleges or schools and getting certificates and degrees. Education provides us with the knowledge and tools through which we can make a brighter future. Every one of us has had to come our own personal barriers and challenges in order to succeed and be here today at graduation. I would like to share a story about the path that I had to walk in order to graduate from the adult learning program. In September 2016, I restarted my education at Halifax West High School. I was very nervous because I was new to Canada and my English was not very strong. I found myself studying with students whose first language was English. It was very hard for me. I felt helpless. However, there was hope in my heart, and that hope was telling me that I could do it. I knew I could do it, and I wanted to learn because I believed that education is a powerful tool. It can be used to fight against gender inequality. It can be used to protect our rights. And it can be used to promote peace and understanding. Many of you have overcome equally challenging barriers to come back to school and continue your education. If we think back, we can all remember a time where we felt helpless. But the fact that we persevered is what brought us here today. The resiliency we have cultivated will serve us well in our future. We have definitely had some good laughs over the year. We have helped others and been helped ourselves. We have participated in and contributed to many amazing school events, such as Open House, which help us to choose our career path, and a Spring Festival, where we share diverse cultures. We have made meaningful relationships and connections that we will carry forward with us. We are all thankful to people who have helped us here at NSCC. Thank you, NSCC, for providing us with this opportunity. And thank you to our family, friends, and faculty for their support. We are all adult students who have lots of responsibilities. Some of you I know have children, jobs, and other important duties in your lives. Despite all of this, none of you have given up on your educational dream. I'm proud of all of us, not just for what we are achieving today, but that we have believed in our dreams and followed through with them. We should not shy away from challenges. We need to remind ourselves, as we have done in our studies here, that if we truly want and work hard towards something, we can achieve it. Luckily for us in Canada, education is something we can always access at any stage in our life. As we move forward from today, let us use our powerful tool, our knowledge, to combat many injustices in our lives. Education is knowledge through which we can make our lives and communities better. We can help someone by teaching them a better way of life. We can make a bright future through education. We learn many things at NSCC. Some of you may have learned about new cultures, new skills, and new behavior. But most importantly, I'm glad that we have learned the value of this powerful knowledge that we have gained and how education can change our lives in many ways. I'm confident that every one of us is well equipped to handle what will come next. This is the beginning of a new journey in our lives. We can all now look toward a brighter future because we have taken an important step in our journey by choosing to get an education. I'm reminded of a quote that my grandmother always said: "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." Let us not forget that knowledge is a powerful tool, and let us leverage this tool for good, for change, and to make a better world. Thank you, and congratulations to all graduates on your monumental achievements today.
Thank you, Selma, for that heartfelt valedictory address. I will call on our principal, Greg Russell, to present the Valedictorian Award.
This brings us to the end of today's convocation proceedings. We invite everyone to join us in the McCain Center for a reception immediately following the ceremony. You can reach the reception by exiting the auditorium behind you and following the signs and NSCC floor decals. Our ushers will be happy to direct you, and our accessibility assistants will be happy to provide you any support or assistance. I want to extend a special thank you to all those colleagues who contributed to making this convocation ceremony a truly special event. Graduates, after receiving your credential on stage, you are presented with your NSCC alumni pin. We hope that from this moment forward, you will wear it proudly, because today, when you shed your gown, your connection to NSCC does not end. Yesterday, you were students. Today, you are graduates. Forever, you are NSCC alumni. During the recessional, the stage guests, led by our president, followed by our faculty, and then the graduates, will leave the auditorium. Would you please stand as you are able for the recessional and remain at your seats until the platform party and graduates have left the auditorium.